The Apostle John was the only disciple who made the ascension during that time. John became illuminated, enlightened, while the other disciples were captured and killed. John was banished to the Isle of Patmos, where he had time to meditate and to write. It was there that he received the vision of revelation. The revelation of Jesus Christ, Jesus Christos, Yeshua ben Yosef, is communicated to John of Patmos through prophetic visions. Through meditation, John received prophetic visions on how to be a Christ. We all have the potential to become Christ. Christ comes from the Greek word Christos, which means anointed one, which is a title that we earn when we are anointed to awakening. In Sanskrit, Buddha means to awaken. It is this state of awareness that we earn the title Christ or Buddha. When Yeshua ben Joseph, you know him as Jesus Christ, but when Yeshua ben Joseph walked the earth, he taught man the lessons of life. It was not intended to become a religion as it has been made today. The teachings were lessons in life and self-empowering through self-responsibility in order to be happy. That includes having love and compassion to yourself, for yourself, and others. What you believe becomes your destiny. And the word belief is an interesting word. And if we study word magic and look at the word belief, we can understand that the component parts of the word belief contain a very interesting word that is most important for us today. Belief, belief. The word lie is part of belief. And organized religions condition people to believe lies and promote genocidal violence. Now, it is vitally important to understand, and I want to ask you a question, and if you feel so compelled, leave an answer in the comments section. But do you think that your priests worship Jesus? Well, then think again. Because this world is in the grip of a mass lie, of an incredible lie that is founded upon and promulgated through organized religion. Now, organized religion for a long time was only the Catholic Church, because you got to keep in mind that Constantine in 325 AD, a pagan Roman emperor, created the Christian religion. And the Catholic Church had enormous power, political power, and was very intolerant of anything that was not of them or of their lie structure. People have been murdered who wouldn't conform to that. They were put to death. Followers were illiterate. They kept the people at the base of the pyramids illiterate and told them to just accept what was spoon-fed to them about what they were told as truth. A reformation at that time was needed. And along came Martin Luther, and he was responsible for the Reformation and the rise of the Lutheran movement. Now, this protest became the Protestant movement, which is the other half of organized religion, which is the main half of organized religion here in the United States, the Protestants. By supporting the Protestant dissidents, the Freemasons and Rosicrucians hoped it would weaken the political power of the Roman Catholic Church, the traditional enemy of the Cathars, Templars, and Freemasons. They believed that the religious reformers behind the Protestant movement would be the creators of spiritual tolerance, so those groups gave them support. Unfortunately, they were wrong. The Protestants are just as spiritually bankrupted as the Roman version of Christianity. The Protestants, in fact, disposed of the elements of paganism which gave Christianity, through the Catholic Church, some substance of esoteric credibility. Now, essentially, we are at a time right now of stripping away all the lies, of the Great Awakening. And that involves facing the dark side of our past, the dark side of our institutions, as Pluto comes into Aquarius on the 20th. And all of these lies are seen through. At this time, our planet is undergoing stages of the deconstruction of the cross implants in our physical body, our spiritual bodies, and other matter life forms that have been impacted by crucifixion and blood sacrifice implants, these lies, these program of lies, this systematic conditioning of lies. That is the human condition. But the source, origin, and basis of religious violence and hate-filled literature that has impacted our culture, our society, and belief systems, these programs have created inner violence towards the self and others, and they promote external methods of violence. And there's no possibility of knowing God through intentional and premeditated violence and the blood sacrifice of a human being. There is no such thing as a holy war or just war. And for the last 2,000 years, the agenda has been to spread violent religions across the earth, with the primary use of Christianity and Islam worshipers who are numbered in the billions. So this is basically this programming, what is referred to as the artificial cross architecture or crucifixion implants, is to enslave humanity through the crucifixion and blood sacrifice of their inner spiritual being or Christ, their Christ self. We are all potential Christ if we put in the work and have the will and the wherewithal to make that our intention and manifest that Christhood within us. Religion was created to keep these cross implants and their religious belief systems of mind control in place, to continually commit offerings, blood sacrifice, so that humanity would live in fear of the retribution from his false father, alien God. This archontic controller mechanism, archontic deception behavior, was to keep humanity subservient to the continual feeding of their false gods, vampires, by invoking a variety of religious rituals for offering, binding, or blood sacrifice. One of the most prolific ways to feed the bloodthirsty vampires is mass killing in wars, or making blood sacrifices, especially in the name of God, or religious violence. Now, blood sacrifice in all cases is satanic ritual killing, which feeds Satanism as well as satanic forces to spread on the earth. But to understand the polarity of the world of forces on earth and identify how satanic force methods are used every day to destroy the feeling, heart, and soul of human beings, the first priority is to disassociate human beings from feeling remorse by killing, which creates psychopaths. That is what the whole gaming industry was about. Like if you look at the kill ratio in traditional wars prior to this age of electronics and technology, where every kid grew up, with playing video games, and certainly with the PlayStations and the Xboxes, where they were able to get all these, first-person shooter games, and kids playing, constant, combat games, world or whatever they're called. I forget what that. But anyway, essentially, that is how they were able to increase the kill ratio. In traditional warfare, it was unnatural, even for the most, well-trained soldier to kill another person. But the kill ratio versus the amount of bullets that were spent in the Gulf War and then in the Iraq War and the most recent wars, the kill ratio was very intense. And it is basically because these kids of this generation grew up playing these, first combat shooter games. And so, but that is the satanic forces that have been at work in this world. But I want to ask you, is there an end in sight? Can we escape this tentacle of lies and organized religion controls? And you have to understand that symbolism is the language which with which the elite of this world communicate. A symbol is an expression of a frequency, and a frequency is an expression of the symbol. And these symbols, these dark symbols, are used, and we're exposed to them hundreds of times a day without ever realizing. But this symbology is entrenched in every aspect of our daily lives, from entertainment to food, the industry, religions, and the global governing cabal. And the secret societies, the so-called elites, use rituals from the dark occult to manifest dark energy, which they worship to nourish their dark gods, their negative, essentially the reptilian gray organizations that are responsible for this. And you got to realize that everything is a frequency. And the way that we're being communicated with through our media is no exception. And it's been, however, all of this frequency, this communication through the digital matrix has been weaponized by unfriendly, hostile, extraterrestrial entities who use this weaponized frequency to control and farm human beings for the purpose of food. Yes, that's right, food. Hit the subscribe button. And we're going to get into some of the more nuts and bolts of this belief, this lie structure that has subjugated mankind through the institution of organized religion. Namaste, namaskaram.